All right, here's some extra practice problems with some additional types of factoring um, before the quiz tomorrow. All right, and so I found these on another practice worksheet that I had given out, I think like in previous years. And so you could just watch or write along if you'd like. All right, so for this one, quote unquote number 9, um, so I'm noticing a couple things. On the bottom, right? I'm going to use GCF. Remember, that's always my first type of factoring that I'm going to try. All right, so here, um, the GCF here, the greatest common factor is 10, right? And so when I take out a 10, right, 10 times what is 10x? That's going to be x. And 10 times what is negative 20? That's going to be negative 2. So the denominator is 10 times x minus 2. Now the numerator, I'm noticing it's a trinomial, and so here I'm going to use the diamond method, right, from chapter 8. And so the negative 16 down here and the positive 6 up here, what multiplies to negative 16 and adds to a positive 6, that's going to be positive 8 and negative 2, right? And so in the numerator, that's going to be x plus 8 and x minus 2. Okay, so when you put that all together, we have x plus 8 over x minus 2 over the denominator we figured out, 10 times x minus 2, right? And I'm noticing these factors x minus 2 cancel out, and the simplified version is x plus 8 over 10. Now, one caution here, you cannot simplify 8 over 10, right? Because the 8 is part of this grouping of x plus 8, okay? So this is it right here. That's the simplified version, and the excluded values, right, come from the factored version of the denominator before things cancel out. So um, the 10 times x minus 2. Now the 10 does not have a variable, so we're not going to deal with it. But the x minus 2, if you solve for that, turns out to be 2. So the excluded value is x cannot equal 2. Right? So that's the first one. The second one is very similar to the previous one. Okay. If you want to try this one on your own, you can, or you can listen here or take a look. So here's what I have so far. The denominator, I used a greatest common factor. Now I want to, say that I'm not saying that the denominator is always going to be GCF, okay? It just happens to be that way. The numerator, we use the diamond method. Okay, so here's what the denominator factors are, and here are the numerator factors. And so when you put these all together, right, that's going to be x plus 6 and x plus 1 over x times x plus 1. And again, I'm noticing x plus 1s can cancel out. And so we have x plus 6 over x, right? Also another caution, these x's do not cancel out, all right? Because the numerator is the whole grouping of x plus 6 together, okay? So this is it right here. This is your final simplified rational expression. Now for the excluded value, remember we go back to the factored version before things cancel out. And so here we have x and x plus 1. So x cannot equal negative 1 from x plus 1. And also this variable here, just x, that's just 0. So x cannot equal negative 1 and 0. Right? Now for this last one I wanted to go over, see we decided to switch it up, right? The GCF is in the numerator, and you could try the GCF down here for the trinomial, but there is no GCF except for 1, okay? So here the GCF, it turns out, is 2x, and inside the parentheses is going to be x plus 5, right? Backwards distribution. Then down here, we're going to do diamond method. What multiplies to 35 and adds to 12? That's going to be 7 and 5, I think, right? And so that's x plus 7 and x plus 5. And so when we put these two together, up here we have 2x and x plus 5. Down here we have x plus 7 and x plus 5. And these factors of x plus 5 cancel out. And so we're left with 2x over x plus 7. And that's as far as you can go. Again, these x's do not cancel out, right? And so we're done. For the excluded value, right, this was our factored version of the denominator over here. And so x cannot equal -7 or -5. Okay, so I wanted to go over some problems where you have to do diamond method also. And so hopefully that helps.